listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. A huge weekend, not only in wrestling, but just all of our fandoms. Alabama's got a new offensive coordinator. Luka Magic traded to the Lakers. But for what you guys are here for, the Royal Rumble was this past weekend from Indianapolis, Indiana, and we are here to break it down as well as the Raw after. Before we get too far into anything, as always, on the other end of the call, the co-host, the historian of the Scoop Slam Podcast, it's Ryan.
Yo, Micah. It was a very monumental weekend for us here and fans across the world of professional wrestling, and a lot of different takes are circulating online. So yeah, I'm ready to get into it, man. Throw me over the top rope and yeah, let's get into this Rumble review.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting episode because we've talked a little bit off air kind of about our thoughts, which if you weren't there on TikTok this past weekend for the Royal Rumble live stream, we had a lot of fun, made a lot of new fans. Just had a good time watching the Rumble. We were able to both be on there for the first half of it, and then the back half, like, I don't know. I'm working off my laptop, and it was not having it. Especially towards the end, dude, when there was like 200 people in there, and I don't remember if you were in at the time.
Oh, I was there. I was locked in. You were doing your best Joey Styles impression. You were just holding it down, bro.
When Roman came out and I was like, everybody spamming the ones, dude, my laptop was like, it was like, it had miles per hour on it. It was moving so fast and it was bad, but I'm trying to get my other one fixed. But anyways, if you're not following the TikTok, make sure you go check that out. And if you are from TikTok, we appreciate the past weekend. It was a lot of fun. But as we start all of our shows off, we got a champ contender cut, and Ryan, you got one for us, or for me. And if you guys don't know what this is, basically, we get three people, we get a topic. Champs, the best, the one we're going with first. Contender is your, okay, I like it, and then cut, that's self-explanatory. So Ryan, let's go.
Okay, Micah, I got greatest peaks of the last 25 years. We got Jeff Hardy, 2008. We got Daniel Bryan, 2014. And then you got Jey Uso, 2025. Champ, contender, cut. Who you going with?
So obviously this is playing off a little bit of relevant topics.
A little foreshadowing, but I'm interested to see how you rank these three peaks. Because I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Three guys that weren't the main superstars of their eras, but their popularity kind of surpassed the main superstars in that same era. So, it's an interesting discussion. And who's gonna be your champ, Micah?
So champ, just because I'm not gonna say that he was more iconic, but as much as it pains me to say this, I feel like it has to be Daniel Bryan.
Wow. I thought, I really didn't think you were gonna go with Daniel Bryan right there, but pleasantly surprised. He was mega over, man. You remember what happened at that Royal Rumble in 2014, Mike, and then the hijacking of Raw, and almost hijacking the entire Royal Rumble match when he got eliminated. So, no, he didn't even enter that Royal Rumble. They were just chanting his name throughout the whole event, weren't they?
Yeah. So the reason that I'm putting him over Jeff, and I think if you go and talk to somebody and they're like, who is Jeff Hardy, who is Daniel Bryan, they may know Jeff Hardy. more than they would Daniel Bryan, but like Bryan's story concluded at WrestleMania 30. Anybody listening to this podcast right now, we can all close our eyes and picture Bryan on the announce table, both belts in his hands, lifting it up as the fireworks are going off in the background of WrestleMania 30. That is one of the most iconic wrestling moments of all time. So for that, I feel like he has to be champ. Contender, no brainer, Jeff Hardy. And I'll dive a little bit more into my Jey Uso take later because I can't spoil the finish within the first 5 minutes of the show. But Jeff Hardy, literally, like 2 weeks ago online, everybody was talking to him, and this always gets brought up. They talk about Jeff Hardy was bigger than Obama in 2008 at his peak. And I don't know if that's true. Obviously, that's probably a little exaggeration. But still, Jeff's peak and like how iconic he was to that segment of fans, like that was growing up with the product at that time, myself included, Jeff was my favorite. And so that moment felt like the top of the world. And I mean, Jeff is still such a big figure in wrestling to this day. And we'll see what time holds for Jey Uso, but I don't know. Like I said, I got some more thoughts.
Well, Jeff was like one of the rare occurrences that the men liked him, the women liked him, and then the kids liked him too. And that's a rare thing to have all three of those demographics at the same time.
Yeah, because like Bryan, I don't really think he had like the women necessarily fully behind him as much as he did like the kids and the men.
Were there women watching at the time, Micah?
Well, I guess you got that. That's probably true.
Jey Uso has both. Well, I don't know if he has the internet anymore, but yeah, man. Jey Uso, he's peak for peak. It's close, man. It's really, really close.
So champ, Daniel Bryan, contender Jeff Hardy, cut Jey Uso.
All right, okay.
And like I said, we're fixing to get into it on this episode. I already know, but let's start out as they started out the Royal Rumble with the Women's Royal Rumble. A lot of controversy coming from this one too, and we watched this one together on the mic. And yeah, I don't know. Last year, I felt like the Women's Rumble was the best match on the card. And this year, if it wasn't for that tag match, this would, without a shadow of a doubt, be the worst match on the card.
Bro, I don't like how Triple H booked these Rumbles, especially this Women's Rumble. They had like a point where there was like 15 women in the ring. Like, do you need that many? And like half of them were just taking a nap.
And they had like 3 Iron Survivors. I think it was Roxanne, Liv, and who was the other? Like, they just lasted forever. And Io.
Yeah, bro. It just seems like this. Didn't this happen last year too?
Yeah, because Rhea started and she won, and then I don't remember who came out first with her. It may have even been Liv, and they were like the last 2 in there. So I don't know. He's kind of got this weird trope of doing that.
Yeah, the ring will fill up. Somebody will come out, and then it'll be 2 ladies have a stare down that people pretend to be excited for, and then Nia Jax comes in and beats Nia Jax is the monster for a couple minutes, and then all the women gang up on her and they throw her out. Bro, I swear this happened 3 years in a row. Did Nia come back last year, or was that the year before?
That was last year.
She came back last year?
Well, I think no. I think she's been back every year. I think she came back in 2023 for a one-off, and then she came back full-time in 2024 at the Rumble.
Okay. Yeah, but still though, I swear this has happened 3 different times. And then the same thing, somebody lifts her up and it gets a big reaction. That happened last year with Jade, remember?
Yep.
Which I give credit to Jordan Grace. That was the probably the craziest feat of strength I've seen. of a like. Bro, she lifted her up in a fireman's carry. Jordan Grace did. Lifted up Nia Jax in a fireman's carry, and then did a what'd you call that? What'd you call that? Make that move.
I don't. There's a word for it, or there's a name for it. I'm sure, but I have no idea.
We gotta go look on Cage Match to see what move she hit. But it was cool, man. I don't know if that's her finish or not. I don't watch many Jordan Grace matches, but she looked good in there. Jordan Grace did.
Yeah. So once again, if this is your first time listening to us, we got a format. We're kind of bringing it back for the pay-per-views. Scoops, slams. So scoops are the positives, slams are the negatives. And that kind of ties into my first scoop, which was I thought Jordan Grace really had a star-making performance. And she got a huge reaction the minute she came out. Like, the crowd was familiar with her. And she's only been on NXT. So it was kind of crazy to hear her get that big of a reaction. But, I mean, you look at her and it's like, holy crap. You know what I mean? She came in, did that. The way she slingshotted out of it, too, I thought was just like, there was so much just intensity. It was a very cool moment. And I thought she looked good in there.
Yeah, she did. She did. She slimmed down a little bit, too.
Yeah, she doesn't look as gassed up as she did at one point in time.
She's still on it, I'm sure, but yeah, she did. She's like $1 million out there. One of the few ladies that got over in that match because there was a lot of missteps in that match, Mike.
Yeah, the only other woman that I really had praise for was I thought Roxanne looked pretty good. I mean, she lasted for a very long time. She was the second to last woman in there. And I know you're not big on her because she's tiny, but...
Yeah, she's not big.
Yeah, but that's like half the division.
Bro, but no, she makes Alexa Bliss look like Andre the Giant. Like, it makes no sense.
There ain't no way. They got to be like the same height.
No, bro, I swear she's under 5 feet tall. You see how she runs the ropes? She's hitting the bottom rope, Mike.
Come on. She's at least hitting the middle rope.
I don't know. It's close. You gotta stay on the tippy toes. It doesn't look right visually when she's, beating up Rhea Ripley or, putting foots in Bianca Belair. It just doesn't look.
Well, I mean, sure, but I guess she could play like kind of the Lyra part of it where she's just like faster than them or more agile. Like, I don't think it's ridiculous to kind of have her in like a Rey Mysterio, just like underdog spot. I don't know. I enjoy her more than you do, and I thought that she actually looked pretty good in here.
Yeah, slam goes to Def Rebel because 3/4 of the entrances that I heard in the Royal Rumble, men and women. I did not know who it was.
Yeah, that could just be for the whole event, honestly.
Oh yeah, slam, Def Rebel. I got that wrote down here.
Because especially the moment it was bad in the Women's Rumble, but like the key moment was Finn Balor coming out. I was like, who is this?
Why did they change Finn's theme? I know they changed the Judgment Day's theme, but they didn't have to change Finn, did they?
I don't think it would have. I mean, it definitely ain't helping him. I don't think it would have hurt him to keep it. Oh my God. And it kills me because people in the comments, like, all the time, like, man, bro, like, where's this Finn push y'all were talking about? Like, the WWE did Finn dirty. No.
We don't want.
No, they did not do him dirty. He just sucks. Like, he stinks.
We don't want it. I don't. Maybe in like 2015, I would have wanted it. But it's 2025, Mike. And Finn Balor is who Finn Balor is, and I mean, he is who you thought he was.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's been here for 10 years.
Put him on that new.
What has he done?
You know what? He should go to that new Tubi show they have. What's that?
Evolve.
What's it called? Oh yeah, Evolve. Have him evolve over there.
He needs to evolve.
Who are you sending to evolve? I'm sending Finn down there.
Like, what is okay? So you probably have your ear to the ground a little bit more about that. What is that show like gonna be?
It's basically what's that show that NXT's been running?
Level Up.
Level Up. Yeah, it's basically gonna be just Level Up, but it's gonna be run by Gabe Sapolsky, which if you don't know, Gabe Sapolsky was a big pivotal part in the early stages of ROH, and he was Paul Heyman disciple in the later stages of ECW. So, I mean, it could be interesting. I didn't watch much Evolve back in the day. I watched clips and matches here and there, but it's. Did you notice what day of the week is on, Mike, and what time it comes on?
Oh no, I didn't catch that.
Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. What a quinky dink, right?
Oh my god! So they're trying this angle again.
On free TV, because Tubi is free. It's it's pretty funny.
So
You wanted a war? You got one.
here's our free TV product that's going to be lower than NXT on
Yeah.
the pecking order. I probably won't. I mean, I don't know. I may check out like the first episode. So, I mean, maybe if they run storylines and stuff on there, but if it's just going to be like a AEW Dark, like here's some newer guys that we're just trying to work in, like, I don't really care for that.
But with their working agreement with TNA now, you're more likely to see some guys like, I know I'm not a big Nick Nemeth fan, but a guy like Nick Nemeth or you saw Fandango came back tonight in NXT.
I did see that, which
Yeah.
I'm gonna reference him a little later, I think.
Were
But
you
anyways,
Fandangoing back in 2013?
oh, I was a big Fandango fan. You couldn't tell me anything, but I mean,
You
I
thought
was a kid, so it makes sense.
hey man, I like the theme.
It was gas.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have made him win the Royal Rumble, but that's besides
He
the
didn't.
point.
He didn't win the Royal Rumble. He beat Jericho at Mania.
Yeah, he didn't win the Royal Rumble, but someone else did.
Oh,
The
okay.
women's Royal Rumble.
Hey, now.
I'm just dropping a little flavor in. We're gonna come back to
Okay.
that. The only two other scoops I had was I thought it was nice to see Trish and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella was a genuine surprise, and the NXT women inclusion. While I don't like week to week watch NXT, I do check clips sometimes, and that's the surprises that you can get. And I thought it was an actual like positive that they include those people and go ahead and like get the main roster fans associated with like the names. They can put a face to the name. Oh yeah, I remember seeing her in the Rumble. They did none of that in the men's Rumble, and they haven't been for the past couple of years. So I know they have more men under contract, but it just doesn't make sense to me.
Really, that was your only two scoops left? You didn't even mention the return of Alexa Bliss. She got the biggest return pop of the night.
Okay, I did. I kind of forgot until you
Oh,
mentioned her
wow.
a minute ago on the pod.
Come on, man.
Well, I wasn't
I think-
taking notes live.
I think she got the biggest return pop in the last, I don't know, man, maybe since Edge. Like it was a
Whoa.
return pop at the Rumble. You who do you
Just
is any
just at the Rumble, I was about to say,
yeah,
Mr.
like
Brooks would like a seat at the
no,
table, sir.
I'm just saying like a return pop at the Rumble. Can you
Oh
remember
yeah.
it? So I mean that's bro, the commentators laid out because it was so loud in the arena. Like people forgot how over Alexa Bliss was. And she came out with the Fiend jacket on. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
You catch what it said?
Fiend forever, I
Fiend
believe.
forever. Yeah, good little shout out. It's yeah, man, it's crazy. She looked okay in there. What she did, she didn't do much. Took a nap for a while, which was themed throughout the night, actually. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go from here with Alexa Bliss because now that Alexa Bliss is back, Micah, your girl Liv Morgan, yeah, she's going to the back of the line because she is a lesser version of Alexa Bliss.
I remember when we were kind of getting back into this and doing the podcast, and we went to that Raw up in Birmingham, and her and Bianca were feuding around that time. Matter of fact, I think they had a match at Royal Rumble, and I think that was the last time we saw Alexa.
Yeah,
And
good memory.
it was, I think the crowd was just kind of sick of it, the spooky and all that. But I think I mean, we talk about all the time. We can't miss you if you don't go away. She went away for 2 years, and now people
But
want to see her.
okay, hold up. But they didn't give us much to cheer for that night. It was a dead crowd, bro.
You
Like
mean in
who got the biggest?
Birmingham?
Yeah, in Birmingham. Like who did we have
Uh,
to cheer for that night? We had Otis. They really didn't give us
Dom,
much. They didn't give us much. So I
that's
mean,
true.
I mean, remember the reaction you got. You didn't even cheer for Dolph when he came out.
I did
You
cheer for
did.
Dolph.
You did. You didn't even stand up, man. You gave him a polite golf clap, like you're watching Collision or something.
Anyways, the slams. I had two, Ryan, but I'll let you go ahead since I started with the scoops.
I think, yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I just didn't like how the ring kept filling up, man. Like 16 people should not be in the ring at once.
Yeah. I think they had, what was it, like legit 15 or 16, like when number 30 came out.
It was a lot.
So, I mean, that's just crazy because when 30 comes out, I mean, you at least maybe like 8 or maybe 10, but to have half the Rumble still in there because nobody was really doing anything,
Yeah,
I don't know. And
and
that
it
was,
just it dilutes it when there's like 4 or 5 people stay in for 40 plus minutes.
yeah. Well, and that used to be like the big thing was like seeing how long a guy could stay in there, like Ray or Sean or Benoit. But when somebody does it every year, it takes it away. Like it was a big deal when Rhea did it last year, but then when Roxanne does it the next year, you need to have a 2 or 3 year break before somebody lasts until the very end.
I don't know if it was that big of a deal last year because you had Bianca Belair did the same thing the year before. So I don't know. It's just maybe we need a break from that period. We need quicker
Yeah.
eliminations.
You basically hit on one of my slams. One of the major ones is obviously Charlotte winning,
Oh,
but
dang. All right. It's starting early, huh? Okay.
before we get into that though, I figured this one probably is a little better before we tear into Charlotte. To me, last year's Rumble just had way bigger spots, and maybe it's because we were there. I don't know, but like I remember when Jordan came in and it was a huge pop and she went crazy, and then Jade came in and it was a huge pop and she went crazy. Like Nia, you mentioned earlier, Rhea, Liv even had a good performance last year, and this year, I mean, what I had Jordan Grace as the only person to have a good performance.
Julia did a couple things, but yeah.
I mean, just nobody like I guess stands out. Like I didn't walk
Yeah.
away from that match with like, wow, I remember that. Like I remember Jade throwing Nia out. That was a moment.
Well, they had a couple girls that shine a little bit. They had uh most improved women of the year, Maxine Dupree. She shined for a little bit when she was in there. She did the Caterpillar. Uh Nikki Bella looked good in there, man. We ain't seen her in a while, and she got a huge reaction. She shined.
Yeah, but I mean, how bright are those lights shining?
Well, I think we don't give Nikki Bella enough credit for making a generation of women fans of women's wrestling and wrestling as a whole. Because there's a lot of people. I don't know if you've ever met one in real life, Micah, but there's a lot of people that say they got into wrestling because of Total Divas. Like I didn't
Really?
believe it, but yes, they are out there, man. You should like. There's
That's
multiple wrestlers that say that now. Not the men's wrestler, but there's a lot of women's wrestlers that say that they got into the whole thing because of Total Divas.
that's wild. Well, I
I
do
know,
think I
right?
remember Britt saying that a couple like interviews or something ago.
I thought Mariah May said that too, didn't she?
You might be right about that. I don't know
And
enough to stamp that.
I think Chelsea Green did as well, and there was somebody else that came out. Maxine Dupree, man, said the same thing. Like there was
Hmm.
a generation of women's wrestlers that we can credit Nikki Bella for getting into professional wrestling. As crazy as a statement as that is, but I mean, and she wasn't bad for her time. she actually improved a lot, much more than Brie Bella did. But when you
Yeah.
compare it to the people they have today, like a Rhea Ripley or Bianca Belair, she can't hold a candle. But as far as star power goes, man, she was a big star, and
Yeah.
she shined bright in there for the time she had. I think she's gonna have another run, kind of like how Trish had this year or last year. I can see that happening.
I wouldn't doubt it, especially like a Mania match, just to kind of get people, maybe some Laps fans to check it out or whatever. But Ryan, if you don't have any slams, I believe this is the time where we got to let the people know that Charlotte Flair,
Charlotte Flair, yeah.
Celtic Shaq,
Oh, whoa,
Nets,
hold up
Nets
now.
Kevin Garnett.
No, buddy, I'm not gonna let you do this. You were singing her praises. What happened?
Okay, listen.
You picked her to win.
Because there was nobody else that was a clear favorite, and it showed in the Rumble. Like, there was nobody who even, like, I was like, oh, they could win. Like, they built this and that's what I wrote. They built this like they did in 2022 when Brock and Ronda came back, and that was the angle they ran, was you knew what was going to happen before it even happened. And they did the same thing with the Women's Rumble.
When she came out with Pyro, that's when you knew, okay, she's going to win this. And she took like 3 minutes to get to the ring.
So, I mean, you can hate that I picked Charlotte, but I knew it was going to be Charlotte because nobody else even had a chance. But that doesn't make that the right choice.
So the predictable choice isn't the right choice.
No,
so you would rather the unpredictable choice, huh? Okay.
Hold on. No, hold on.
Let's keep that in mind for later. Noted. Let me write my notes down.
And as much as I hate to say this,
yeah,
I don't think Charlotte is the right choice.
Okay.
But who else is there to pick from?
I think it's the right choice only if they continue to go down the heel path. Now, if she continues to be a babyface, then yeah, it's gonna be garbage. But if she's directly a heel, then okay, fine. But babyface Charlotte, as evidence as to what happened on Monday night, it's not.
No, because, and I'll save some of my thoughts for that later, but it was bad. And I mean, that's the thing. The only women that I think that truly deserve that spot to be in a Mania main event was going to be Io Sky or Bianca Belair. But Bianca's a tag champ, and she really has not been positioned at the top of the card in a long time. And Io, I mean,
she's good in ring.
She's good in ring, but I really can't buy her going into a WrestleMania feud as the challenger. When she was the dominant champion and Bayley was the challenger, like the story was baked in there. But for a quick 2-month turnaround or 3-month turnaround right before Mania, I don't really know the angle you take with Io if you're going to go against Rhea or if you're going to go against Tiffany.
It'd be hard because, I mean, she's great in ring, Mike. I'm not taking that away from her. But do you really care when Io Sky tries to talk on the microphone? I don't.
No. Just being honest. Because I like her. She's probably the third best women's wrestler on the roster behind Rhea and Bianca. I don't think that's a crazy statement to say.
I mean, she might be the best, but it doesn't matter because you can be the best wrestler all you want, but what can you do to make me care about you?
Yeah.
I mean, you can train a chimpanzee to do the moves, but give me a great promo. Give me a good story. Make me feel, man.
And I think if she, like Bayley was last year, like an underdog babyface, and there was a real dominant heel champion, that could work. But there's nobody, like Rhea's a babyface. She just won the belt back, so she's not really dominant. And I just, I hate to say it because I think it's stupid that Charlotte just comes back and gets what she wants And obviously the people are sick of that too. Like I said, we'll talk about that on Raw, but man, I don't really know who else they could have went with.
Well, speaking of Bailey, she got announced for the Celebrity All-Star game. You see that?
I did see that. Does she have the ability, Ryan? Or I seen she got crossed up by Bianca on SmackDown like 3 years ago.
Well, I mean, Bianca Belair is the EST, Micah. I mean, she's the best at everything. Fastest,
Well,
the strongest.
you got me there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are we ready to move on to the critically acclaimed tag team match?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and give that whole Rumble a slam because I didn't enjoy it, bro. I'll probably never go back and watch that Rumble.
No, there ain't no way. Next up, we had for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships in a 2 out of 3 falls match, DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns.
I felt
Cool,
so bad.
buddy.
I felt so bad for him.
In a crowd of 70,000, you could not hear a mouse piss on cotton.
Well, that's because they were all at the concession stands and in the bathroom. You couldn't hear them because they weren't there, Micah.
Well, I mean, where else are they going to get a break on this show?
And, it was cool to see Motor City Machine Guns come out in front of a packed 70,000 seat stadium. I'll say that. But it's just they were dealt a bad hand going into this. Nobody cares about the SmackDown mid card. Nobody cares about the SmackDown tag team scene. And I don't think people want to boo the Street Profits, man. I don't know if that was a heel turn or I don't know what that was, but nobody booed the Street Profits. People were chanting one more time when Angelo Dawkins was hitting. He hit a lot of people with the crutch, actually. Yeah, people were chanting one more time. So this happened. This should have been on SmackDown. This was a F finish and a waste of 20 minutes, man.
I think it would help for them to have another match on this card, just to give.
It'd go 5 hours.
Well, no, but I mean it ain't got to be a long match, but they could cut out some of the freaking ads and all the other bull crap and slide in another match. It's crazy that. Like, because every year somebody's going to get the death spot because you've got to have a world title match. And then in the in-between, that's the only time you have to go to the concessions and go to the bathroom because you're not going to miss the world title match and you're not going to miss the Royal Rumble. So I just feel bad for whoever's in the spot. And however, I really don't care about DIY. I like Motor City Machine Guns because of nostalgia and I grew up with them. I don't think the action necessarily was bad at all. I mean, it sucks. Just people don't care. And to be honest with you, in 2025, I think the way that Triple H books tag teams, if they got rid of the tag division altogether, I really don't think anybody would care.
Bro, it should have stayed. It should have stayed unified. Which I was beating my hand on this desk right here in front of me, telling you they should have keep it unified. There's no reason for it to be 2 tag divisions and there only be 3 teams in each division and they all be booked like garbage. There's no reason for this.
Well, I hoped whenever they split them up that they were going to put some emphasis into those tag divisions.
But that's never been a thing, though. Even going back to the glory days of the SmackDown 6 when they were having great tag matches with Chavo, Eddie, Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle. I mean, it was never about the tag division. It never will be about the tag division. They just don't see tag teams as a priority. So why have 2 different tag divisions that you're going to neglect?
I think part of it, too... I mean, I agree with you now. Like seeing the state of tag team wrestling, it should just be unified in WWE. But they don't really put any stars in the tag division anymore. Like the Usos, for the time, like them and the New Day, when they had all that going on, like they were compelling characters that you cared about as people, not just like oh, it's a tag team of two guys that don't really have anything to do, i.e., DIY, A-Town Down Under. Like, half the tag teams just, they don't even feel like higher mid-card guys paired together. It's like low mid-card.
Yeah, they just don't give them any captivating stories to tell. I mean, all those guys are great wrestlers, good wrestlers, all of them, fantastic. Motor City Machine Guns probably my favorite tag team growing up. But if you don't give them anything to sink their teeth into, I don't want to see the Motor City Machine Guns just have 30-minute bangers back and forth every week, bro. I mean, I just don't care.
Yeah. And it kind of makes me worried about when Ray Phoenix comes in too, but we'll see how they do that.
You know what? How did they have 4 matches in this 4.5 show? How's that possible?
Because both Rumbles take an hour 15.
Okay, but still though, like where's all the time going in these shows, bro?
The ads or the stupid just like random stuff that they throw in.
Random celebrity cameos.
Yes. I will say this. As much as we dog an AEW pay-per-view for being long, like at least there's something on the TV. Is it too much? Yes. Like they should, like a pay-per-view should not be longer than 3 hours. If it's not WrestleMania or like for AEW, like All In, like dude, 3 hours, 2.5, that should be a pay-per-view. Royal Rumble's a big deal, but there's no reason that the show can be 4 hours and you got a match for each hour.
Or be careful, Micah, because last time people were complaining about the showtime, WWE said, "Oh, okay, you don't like the shows? We're gonna make it 2 nights," and then that's how we got 2-night WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and
well,
that's how
they're
we
thinking
got
about it with.
SummerSlams.
I heard they're thinking about it with Royal Rumble
There you
too.
go. And next thing you know, 2-night Money in the Bank. Gosh, Jesus.
2-night Monday Night Raw, Monday and Tuesday Night Raw.
Too
The
big
party
for
never
just money.
ends. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll move on to the WWE Championship match.
Oh, okay.
Ladder match: Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. And I gotta admit, the 3-star general put another star on tonight.
Hey, man. Scoop, because that is how you have a grudge match. Right there. That's what you need. Blood. There was no headlock, drop down, takeover. There was no Roman knuckle lock. It was 2 guys beating the heck out of each other, and they used the ladder as a weapon, not just to set up stunts.
That segues great into one of my scoops, which was they didn't need other garbage in the match. They used the ladder. And they didn't have to reinvent the wheel either. They just used the ladder like a weapon, not to let me put his right arm and his left leg into it and do a flaming hammer onto it. Like, it wasn't that. It was just, I'm going to pick this guy up. I'm going to slam him onto the ladder. And it worked. And like some of the spots, especially the one towards the end where KO, he came off the top rope and he didn't put Cody through the ladder, but what move did he do?
Are you talking about the Fisherman Buster?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was insane.
And I genuinely thought Cody hit his head.
Yeah. Like, there's so little room for error right there in that situation.
So, I thought it was probably Cody's best match of his entire run, maybe outside of the AJ Styles match. And I really wasn't that hyped to see it going in.
That's because you hate Kevin Owens.
Well, yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I agree, man. I wasn't that invested in it because Cody has completely turned me off SmackDown. But hey, man, KO, I've always enjoyed his work, and he is a master of the ladder match. Did
I
you ever see
will.
that match he had with Sammy in what was it, PWG?
Heck no.
Did you? Okay, that was a good match. What about his match with Sammy in ROH, ladder match? Did you ever see that?
Uh.
Man, come on, man. Did you watch any independent wrestling, Mike?
I watched some Ring of Honor, but
Which Ring
I
of Honor
I
did you watch? Did you not watch 2010 Ring of Honors?
I feel like I may be stoned for this if I
Okay.
say this out loud.
You got high watching it, Micah? What
No, no, no. I was too young for that.
okay.
I didn't really like Kevin Steen and El Generico in Ring of Honor.
Jeez. Okay. All right.
It just wasn't for me. I liked Adam Cole. I like Jay Lethal, but like, I don't
Like
know.
Adam Cole?
Adam Cole in Ring of Honor was good.
You lost me.
I don't know. Just Generico never clicked with me. I think it was a mic issue, like if we're just being honest.
He was a mute.
Which is crazy because now he's one of the best promos in WWE when he wants to be.
Okay,
But
well, we're getting sidetracked. My point was, Micah, Kevin Owens always has great ladder matches, and he didn't disappoint here. He made sure to put on his working boots for this match, and he was not holding back. Bro is I think he is 40 years old. Taking bumps like that,
yeah.
Scoop, because he did his best Mick Foley impression throughout the whole match.
And I think that, like you said, like I didn't really notice it till you said that, but it helped that it did feel like an old style Cactus Jack match where it's not even so much wrestling, it's just brawling, but that makes it believable because it's like, I hate your guts and now I'm gonna put you in a Texas cloverleaf. Like, that don't really track.
But that ending sequence with the Alabama Slam,
Yeah. 2 scoops for Alabama Slam too, because it's not used that often in wrestling anymore.
that's shout out to his mentor, the great Hardcore Holly, greatest wrestler in Alabama history.
Yep. And the only person to have his tag team partner
Yeah,
not lose the tag team title, but he did.
I can just, I would love to be a fly on the wall trying to see Vince trying to explain that to everybody. Like, you
Yeah.
think anybody spoke up like Vince? How does it make any sense?
No, probably not. Especially around that time. Which
But
is crazy because as a kid, I didn't think anything about it. I was like, "Yep, that tracks." Like,
yeah,
I had the DVD.
that checks out. No, but yeah, bro, 3 scoops for all the blood that we had in this match, and of course, KO is gonna be the one that bleeds. I would have thought Cody would have, did a blade job too, but KO put
Yeah.
on the Crimson Mask for this match, and this has been a lot of instances where we got in color in the Paul Levesque era. Like, is this just gonna be a occurrence?
I think they save it for big deals, and I really thought Cody was going to get it as well, just for the babyface, aspect of that. But no, I think whenever they feel like a feud is hot and it feels like it warrants blood, then they get it.
Yeah,
I.e., Punk and Drew, this, and
Cody with The Rock, he bled.
yeah. And I think that the red herring here, actually, funny enough, is that Cody didn't bleed
Mm.
and KO did. And I think that's the story that they're trying to convey is Cody is really on this mean streak right now. And if the rumors are true and we're getting Cena and Cody, I think
God,
that plays into it.
oh, we ain't getting that, bro.
I don't know where else they're gonna go.
I'd rather them go anywhere else. Like, I would rather
Think that's gonna happen.
I would rather him have a match with Austin Theory at WrestleMania.
Again?
No, not Cena. I'm saying Austin Theory versus Cody. I would rather see that. I just
Oh
do
my
not.
god.
Bro, Cena, we're gonna get to it, but my God, the overacting kills me with John Cena. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah. But I agree, like you said, the finish of the KO Cody match was just the best thing. I actually don't have any slams for this. I really don't know what you could have changed. It was a great match.
Yeah, I loved it. It's probably it's gonna be. I'm sure we're gonna mention it as far as best matches of 2025.
Yeah, it'll definitely get the nod.
Yeah.
Just because, again, and ladder matches make me real hesitant to now or today. We'll move on after this, but you see a ladder match, and I just always am like, God, like what crazy bull crap are they gonna try and do? But I like this one because they didn't. They just did the basic. They took basic stuff and reinvented that without going like way out of left field with it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that brings us upon the main event for the Royal Rumble, which was obviously the men's Royal Rumble.
Oof.
Lot to break down here, but I'll start with my first scoop, which was Penta and Rey starting was great. Obvious foreshadowing, but a great visual, and we talked about it last week. They obviously see Penta now as the next Rey Mysterio, and we've seen many iterations of that or attempts at the next Rey Mysterio, but with the reaction that Penta got there and the way they've been building him up and the reactions he's still getting, I think they got their guy.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool to see him and Ray have a little face off at the beginning, but slam because Penta got thrown out. Do you not remember that? His feet hit the floor.
He did, and I think it's funny because he was the Iron Survivor.
Yeah, I hope that don't mess up his push, but that didn't look right.
Well, we've seen it before, though.
And another thing about Penta, and this pains me because I like Pentagon when he was in Lucha Underground, but he took like a 13-minute nap, bro. He didn't. I swear he went missing for half this match.
He did. There were multiple times that people would ask me in the chat, and see, some of my memory is skewed too because I was like paying attention to multiple things, but they would be like, "Is Penta still in?" Like, I don't know. Like, I was trying to look, see if I see this giant blue thing laying on the ground.
Hey, yo, wait, what was this? His thing was laying on the ground, Micah?
I hope it's not blue.
Well, we did have a wardrobe malfunction in women's. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know if
Yeah, that was scary.
Little Penta made an appearance in this match, but
Little Penta.
I don't know.
Is it his Cero Miedo?
Well, hey, you know what? Scoop for the little ticker thing that they had at the bottom of the screen. I thought that was very helpful throughout the whole event.
Yes, I agree. It felt like a professional, like an ESPN almost event, but it helped me because I was like, I don't know. I just like little facts like that. Like, so-and-so has lasted this long in the match so far. Like, I don't know. It's a very good thing to do with the Rumble. And because we were at the Rumble last year, and that would give you crap to look at in the arena. I was like, what entrant is this? Second for my scoops, Braun Breaker absolutely probably gave the nastiest celebrity bump I have ever seen in my life. So, Speed I Show Speed, popular Twitch streamer, was in the back, and Tozawa comes out, he gets clocked, they swap it out with Speed, and he
Speed
comes out.
Big game to Stephanie McMahon. I don't know if you caught that.
Hey, I don't blame him.
Well, I mean, Triple H didn't seem to like that.
That's why I put him in the Rumble. It was punishment. So he comes out to this very obviously set up spot because he has a Titantron and music and
well, he was a standby, Mike. It could happen.
It was a little choreographed, but it's the Rumble. It's all kind of choreographed. I give it a pass. And he comes in there with like a ball of fire. I mean, the guy is going crazy. He helped eliminate Otis, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, he did.
And the crowd's going crazy for him. He does a backflip, and then he lands a backflip, and he does the Sui, I think it's called, and you just see in the background Braun Breaker cuts across your screen left, and then he cuts across your screen right, and then he cuts back again, and absolutely cleans this dude's clock. His shoulder jammed his entire head into the mat, and there was no give. There was no like, oh, let me cushion this guy because he's a celebrity. Nah, that was full force.
And it was the greatest spear I have ever seen. And he took it like a champ, man. I show speed. I give him credit. I'm not a fan of his Twitch work, but hey, man, whenever he gets in the ring, because I don't know if you remember him and Randy had a pretty entertaining back and forth last year at Mania. So he takes the business seriously, and he's willing to put himself out there. So he's got my respect. But yeah, that
Yeah,
was the gnarliest spear I have ever seen.
I was not expecting to that extent. Like, I thought somebody may give him a power bomb, but like, dude, that's honestly evil to set somebody up to take a Braun Breaker spear. It looks nasty anytime. I mean, and I wrote this down. He hit one with Roman, or he hit Roman with one later that was also like a just 10 out of 10 spear. He has probably the best I've ever seen. Next to like Goldberg, I put them 1A, 1B, but dude, like it
Hey,
is.
well, no shout out to Rhino
Rhino's up there too, but I think I'd take Braun
over Rhino.
over Rhino. Sorry. Get the
Wow,
gore out of here.
wow. I don't know, man. Gore was a beauty back in his day, but it's close. But oh, one more thing about ISO Speed: over 250 million views that clip got on social media.
So I guess he should have won the Royal Rumble then, right?
You know what? If he's selling the
Get out of here.
merch,
Um,
is he making the towns, Micah?
yeah, is the crowd wanting his song to be played again? Anyways,
I'm his Deaf Rebel.
yeah, I got two more, and then I'm done with my scoops, Ryan. Jacob Fatu, once again, star performance.
See,
He looked really good.
I didn't like how they got rid of him.
Well, that is one of my slams, but not
Okay.
just him, but just in general. Because when they got rid of him and Drew, everything really started slowing down and being like, okay, hold on, who's left here? And then we'll get to the big one. And then the last scoop I have, the stare down. Cena, Punk, Roman, Seth. There's no bigger moment that they could have done in that Rumble. And it was, I mean, just the entire crowd was going crazy. Everybody loved that moment. I hated that wasn't the end. Like, there was still so much more of the match left to go.
Well, it could have been better if they would have all just unanimously beat up Seth and threw him out of there.
Well, okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah, that probably would have been a lot better, actually.
So, Ryan, do you have any scoops?
Any scoops? You hit on pretty much all of them. I don't know if you read my notes again, but yeah, I wrote down. I honestly can't remember the last time it was a star after star after star coming out in succession like that in the Rumble. And man, it just made me feel like a kid again when Cena and CM Punk had that little stare down. But then I was reminded of why I hate John Cena, which gets
Oh,
me into
yeah.
one of my slams. John Cena's overacting, man. Oh my, does that not bother people? Like people dog Hogan for all his overacting he did during his run, But John Cena, bro, he takes me out of it when he does that goofy expression, like he's a fan or something in the ring, like he's not supposed to be here. I
I
don't
think
know, man.
it got worse since he really got big into acting.
Yeah, it's like he's making fun of the business, man.
I
Like
also had that,
he acted
and
like High Show Speed out there.
yeah. There was one moment I can't remember the exact. He just made this face of like he was like confused or perplexed, and it was like real like B cut movie faces, and I was
Cheesy.
like, dude, yeah, it's very cheesy, and I think a
Yeah,
lot of people just look past it because it's Cena, but I ain't really the biggest Cena fan in the world either. I know you're not,
big
and
though.
yeah, I predicted him to win. I really didn't want him to win, but
But if this is what he's gonna be doing for the next 12 months, you can stay at home, bro. Like we don't need this. How is this gonna help anybody if he's gonna be making goofy faces in the ring and doing? Oh, people want dog on Jey Uso. Oh, his moveset. He doesn't have any moves. Well, what the heck does John Cena have in 2025?
you
Nothing but
know,
nostalgia.
it's funny you mentioned that because there was a lot of people at my comments talking about that. That what do you think Cena is? Cena's just got 5 moves. Like it was a
Yeah,
joke, but it's serious, especially now.
yeah, and he looks old. He doesn't tan anymore. Why does he have that bald spot? Please shave it, bro. Like, come on, man. Go back to the military cut. Get rid of the long tube socks. I don't know why he's wearing that. And quit all the overacting. Jesus, I
And drop
Cena.
the Dr. Scholl's orthopedic shoes too while we at it. He had on low tops in there. It was disgusting. They were like New Balances or like Asics or something.
I don't know what's going on with him. Does he not want to be there?
It really don't look like it. And it's crazy because he's a big draw for a lot of people right now. Like I got a guy at work that like he was upset that Cena didn't win because he loved Cena like as a kid, and so it was a big moment for him. And I had to just kind of be like, yeah, man. But like deep
Tell
down, I'm like, man, he stinks. Like I don't care for him.
tell him to take those glasses off, bro.
Yeah, you got to eventually you got to realize that Cena really was
He's a
not
shell of himself.
that good, and he's not even he wasn't that good then, and he really ain't good now. Like 10 years later.
And now he's a shell of himself. And I don't know, man, if he's trying to is he trying to tank his value? I don't know what's going on, man. And every time he has a promo battle, back and forth exchange with somebody, I know he did it in his prime too. But now he just says too many insider stuff that doesn't help anybody. And I don't want to see it if this is how it's going to be for the next 12 months. I don't want him winning the Elimination Chamber, and I don't want him in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 or Night 2. We don't need that.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how it plays out, but that's really what I'm like waiting for is the fine speech, pal, and then it's gonna be like the hopium is just gonna come crashing down, and then
And
I'm just gonna have to rip them apart.
bro, those fans are gonna eat it up. Those Cena fans from when he was wearing those bright T-shirts back in 2009, 2010, they love him, man. No matter what he does.
I don't get it. I don't know. Um,
I don't know.
one of my slams, and we kind of hinted on this: the elimination of Roman, Seth, and Punk in quick succession, and to the point that like they weren't even really in like the final few. Um, really, really bothered me. I think it deflated the crowd's like interest kind of, and definitely a lot of the like internet, and I know you can't cater to the internet people, but like I mean I just felt deflated. Like, and it's not just because I'm a Punk fan, but already like Drew got thrown out really early. Jacob Batu got thrown out early. like, what are we doing? Those are the top guys. Like, why is Logan Paul still in there at this point?
Those are the two that really bothered me was Fatu and McIntyre. I thought it was cool that Punk eliminated the two Shield guys because if you remember, Micah, Roman and Seth debuted helping CM Punk, and he was the one that eliminated both of them. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't get the pacing of that particular moment because I would have had CM Punk in there a little longer. But
Yeah, because I feel like he was the favorite. Like, people thought Punk was probably going to win. Why would you?
He had one of the biggest build-ups of the whole entire Rumble. He was coming
Yeah.
out every week saying he was going to win the Rumble. He was the only guy that did that every single week.
And
You just toss him out.
yeah, I was fine with him eliminating Roman and Seth, but like, okay, if your final two need to be John and Jey for the story that you're telling, then your final 6 needs to be Roman, Seth, Punk, and Drew. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no swaps. Maybe Fatu in for Drew, or if you just want the clicks, maybe Logan. But like, to have Punk eliminate Roman and Seth is fine. But for Logan Paul to be in there with Jey and John Cena as the final 3, it just felt like John was going to win 100%. But even then, I know that wasn't what happened. But I think that kind of, like, that made Jey's win feel weird to me, just because I didn't know already how to feel about whoever was going to win out of those 3 because Punk wasn't left.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
And I guess now's the time. Jey Uso, 2025. Unless you got something else.
Yeah, back it up real quick. Let me get one scoop out of the way, and then you can unleash. But scoop, AJ Styles returned, got a great pop, and he's back with his original theme music, which is a dub because that new music they had him in was garbage.
Yeah, I did forget about that. See, okay, I watched it, but I didn't take notes then. I took notes like today, kind of off memory. So I was going off like the big things that I remembered. But it was good to see AJ, and he got a pretty big pop too when he came out.
Yeah. And you remember that music they gave him, the Death Rebel special?
Yeah, and it was right before last year's Mania.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what's going on with that, man. Why do some guys get their music back and the other guys don't?
I have no idea. They need to. I'm sorry, Def Rebel. Just find a different career path. What Colin Coward say? Def Rebel. It's fine.
You're good.
You're good. we don't need you anymore.
I don't know if you saw that clip circulating of Colin saying that, and Ben Simmons just misses wide open layups left and right through like a minute long compilation.
I just saw the clip of him saying that. But it's time. We're here.
Okay. Let's do it.
Or do you want to wait till we get to Raw?
Nah, let's do it here because I only got 2 things from Raw. We don't have to talk about Jay's promo.
Well, I feel like it plays into everything. So,
okay, well we can tie them both in.
If you didn't watch Raw, go check that out. At least the opening segment.
The live broadcast was cursed. There's a lot of
big slam on that, by the way, because that was garbage, dude. Y'all been on Netflix for like a month. What in the world was happening from the start of the show to the end of the show too, especially at the end?
I thought my Wi-Fi was crashing out. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it was not a good time, but Jey wins the Rumble, and the people.
Jey Uso to you, sir.
Oh, okay. The people go crazy, obviously, in the arena.
Of course.
And fast forward to Monday Night Raw. Whenever Jey won, my initial reaction was, that's not who I expected, that's not who I wanted, and that's not who I think they should have went with.
Oh, God. So
fast forward to Raw.
Okay, fast forward to Raw.
And mentally, I'm thinking, I need something tonight, man. I need something to like convince me that Jey was the right decision. Like he needs to knock it out of the park.
And then you got it. That opening segment. Thank you. I appreciate that. We don't have to have this argument.
No.
Huh?
Jey came out
He did.
and he said nothing.
Oh, excuse me, sir. He didn't have to say anything. The crowd was chanting for an encore to his song. He was so over. Did you miss that part, Micah? Did you miss the part of 13,000 people on their feet doing the yeet? Did you miss that part?
Okay.
Him getting
Sure.
the biggest pop of the night? Oh, just sure. Okay. All right.
Listen, he's over. I'm not denying that.
Okay.
But does that mean that Rusev should have been the Royal Rumble winner? We talked about it earlier. Should Fandango have been the Royal Rumble winner that year because his dance was over?
Okay, but if Fandango was selling a bunch of merchandise and people were going to the shows to see Fandango, then yeah, maybe he should have won the Royal Rumble. But we've been to these live shows, Mike. We've been to multiple live shows. You know the reaction Jey Uso get. You see the merchandise that he sells. There is no way on God's green earth you can continue to ignore that. Because I was skeptical too in the moment, man. I was a little heated when he won that Rumble. But all that went out the window when I realized that the IWC is just a small vocal minority. It's all about the live audience and it's all about the dollars and cents. And Jey Uso sells the most merchandise and he gets the biggest reactions on the show. And at the end of the day, Micah, that's what professional wrestling is. It's not about, well, what was his rating on Cade's match? Oh, he only has 3 moves. How can they cheer for him? No, it's because he's the most over guy. You don't have to overcomplicate this.
But again, I don't see. I'm sorry, I can't buy Jey in the main event of night 2 of WrestleMania. Like not at all. Not against Gunther. First off, we saw this match last weekend and it was okay, but we didn't even talk about it on the show really because nothing happened. So why, if reports are true, if they knew Jey was going to win the Rumble months ago, why did they do that match right before the Rumble? That makes no sense.
You want to
And
plant more
especially
doubt.
because he got beat clean.
It adds on to the unsuspecting Rumble win, Micah. Just because you didn't predict it doesn't mean it was the wrong thing to do. Just because you
Okay.
didn't get your prediction right doesn't mean that it was the wrong thing to do.
Okay. I would like to rewind a minute to last week's Raw.
Okay.
CM Punk came out and cut this promo about why he was gonna win and had this moment with Cody that I said was arguably gonna be one of the promos of the year. It was such a good build. It like really enhanced kind of Cody's character and what he's going through, but yet the same with Punk, and like this was the clear look into WrestleMania, what we could have. You want to know what Jey Uso did on last week's Raw?
Okay. What'd you do?
He came out with Quavo. He didn't
Yeah.
even acknowledge that he lost to Gunther. He just said, I'm in the Rumble this weekend, and that's my
No,
main focus. Yeet. And then they
no.
danced again.
Hold up now. I'm pushed back on that. He did say that Gunther was the better man. He did acknowledge that he lost. I'm not gonna let you just make up stuff like that. Like,
But it was like a minute promo. Like he really didn't even have any substance to it. They just came out there and danced. Like they
well,
did Monday.
okay, well maybe that should have told you that maybe we should keep our eyes on Jey Uso because you know who they had come. You know who Travis Scott came out to during the first Monday Night Raw on Netflix. He came out with Jey Uso. You know who Quavo came out with during that Raw you were just talking about, he came out with Jey Uso. He didn't come out with CM Punk. He didn't come out with Seth Rollins. And you know who got the biggest reactions of those shows, Micah? They got the biggest fan engagement of those shows, Micah. I love CM Punk, man, but it wasn't CM Punk. It was Jey Uso. We may not be big fans of the whole Yeet thing, but you cannot deny the popularity that Jey Uso has. I'm sorry. It's just facts, man. Just because you can't picture him being in the main event of WrestleMania, guess what, Micah? He's main evented WrestleMania before with his brother. You can't say that he doesn't have good matches because I mean he had. Oh, that's different.
It's different in a tag team setting.
Well, what about when he had that? What did they call? What did they call him? Main event Jey Uso. What do you think? That was just a nickname? He's main event Jey Uso for a reason.
No, he main event a Monday Night Raw Jey Uso. He main event a SummerSlam Jey Uso. He ain't main event a WrestleMania Jey Uso.
I bet you were hoping Rock was gonna come out.
I was, and you were too.
Well, maybe.
Listen, I'm sorry. I know the guy is over. I know, but they're like, okay, this is my thought process because somebody in my comments on TikTok said this, and I fully believe it because I'd be the same way. They said in the moment when Jey won, they were at the Rumble and like everybody was yeeting and it was such a good time. He was like, the place was going crazy. And then he left and he got in his car and he thought about it and he was like, I can't believe that Jey Uso won that. It's a mass hysteria. When everybody's in there, you want to yeet too and wave your hands because everybody's having a good time, which, sidebar, it should be a terrorist crime to make wrestling fans wave their underarms in public.
Oh, come on.
But side note aside, it's just a mass hysteria. It's like Yeet is from like 2015 and everybody just wants to do the dance because they're in the arena.
I should tell you how popular he is then. If he can get that over, something that you claim hasn't been popular since 2015, he brought back, made relevant again. You know, I did see a Yeet shirt in my, man, I don't see many wrestling shirts nowadays, but I saw a Yeet shirt out in public at my job the other day. I seen that, man. I can't deny how over this man is. And you on this podcast, I'll have you know, have constantly said that you want surprises to happen. You want stuff that you aren't predicting to happen. And then when something happens that you didn't predict, you got a problem with it. It's not like they put over Tozawa. They put over the most over guy they have.
I don't know. I can't co-sign with it, and we'll see what happens at Mania. But two, I know I've seen this story before. He's gonna win, and it's gonna be a big moment at WrestleMania. And then 3 months down the line, what's that ring gonna look like? Because look at Cody Rhodes. It's the same thing happening right now.
Well, we're not looking that far. You know what WrestleMania has always been about, Micah? It's been about the moments. It's always been about the feel-good moments. And how can you possibly pay off the 5-year-long odyssey that Jey Uso has had as the main event Jey Uso character by having him main event WrestleMania and winning a world championship? I mean, it writes itself, Micah. So what the kids say, cinema, it writes itself, man.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Oh, yeah?
Is Jey Uso main eventing the second night? Is that the last match we're going to see?
No, it'd be night one. It'd be night one.
But you think it's worthy of a night one main event?
Yeah, I do.
So, then hypothetically, if we're getting Cody and Cena, because that's what the dirt sheets say. Now, know, we don't trust dirt sheets on this podcast.
Yeah.
Where does Cody and Roman and Seth fit in? If that, again, is the match you're going with, because you can't tell me Jey Uso versus Gunther is a bigger marquee match than Roman versus Seth versus Punk.
Well, I just don't know what the stakes is at the moment, so I can't have that as the main event of any WrestleMania. Because if it's just gonna be a non-title match, triple threat non-title match as the main event of WrestleMania, I don't want to see that. Now, if it's the mid-card match, sure, you can do that, but the main events should be the world champion of at least the women's world champion or the men's world champion. It needs to be the main event. I don't think you can have non-title triple threat matches the main event. So yes, I do think Jey Uso is worthy of a main event, and he will live up to his namesake of main event Jey Uso by beating Gunther in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 and finish his 5-year-long odyssey by holding up that world championship. And you get his kids coming in the ring. Maybe you'll get Rikishi to come out to hug him. Sami Zayn will be there. Jimmy, his brother, they'll hold him up on his shoulder. And it'll be a big moment, man. That's what WrestleMania is all about, Micah. It's not about the moves he can do. It's not about his cage match ratings. It's about how does he make the people feel? And he makes the people feel, Micah. We were just talking about this.
But how? What does he say? Like, okay.
Yeet.
Aside from him crying on Monday night, because I'm happy for the person, Jey Uso, like, genuinely.
Doesn't sound like it. Sounds like that was like a slight dig. Oh, he's crying on Monday.
No, it's not a dig. I'm happy for him. The emotions overcame him, and it's a big deal. I understand that. But what did he say in that promo that made anybody care? Gunther came out there and told him like it was. He said it don't add to his resume because it don't. He's already beat him like 5 times. It would add to his resume to beat Roman or Seth or Punk or The Rock. It don't do nothing for him to beat Jey Uso, and he's not going to. But still, Gunther came out there and told the truth.
You want to know what he said, Micah? Yeet. No, see myself out.
And that's all he has to say, huh?
Yeah, man.
I will say, and then we'll move on. I did get cracked up when he said, I don't know what to say, and the crowd went, yeet, and he said, besides that. I don't know. We're going to have to keep a track on this. I feel like I'm about to have to be the Skip Bayless, and this is going to be my LeBron, but I'm not having it, man. I'm still not happy.
Yeah. It's pushed you over the edge, man. You used to be a Jey Uso truther. Now look at you. Look at you now, boy.
I almost bought a Yeet shirt one time. No, yeah. I ain't never been that far.
You were doing it at the arena. I remember.
I was again, but that's my point. It's a mass hysteria.
You would call them 4K. I'm going to post those pictures and that video of you doing that.
I don't even think you got a video of me doing that.
Well, yeah, I knew this. I knew my time would come.
Keep receipts.
4K. This is the most clearest photo I've got right here.
We'll see what happens with Jey Uso and the build to WrestleMania. Definitely things are taking a turn that I, nor you, I don't think, expected. However, as always, we got the weekly reviews coming up. Things are getting interesting on the road to WrestleMania. We're going to be here every step for it. So, nonetheless, thank you guys for listening to our Royal Rumble review. Make sure that you, like I said, check us out on TikTok. We had a great weekend there. Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Share us with your friends. At the end of the day, we hope you enjoy whatever wrestling you like, even if you like yeeting. And take care of yourself. Have a good one.